Today we're going to install the Putco Nitro-Lux LED headlight replacements on this 2019 F-150 for both the low beams and the high beams. Let's go and get started. All right, so I've already gone ahead and removed the negative battery terminal. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the shroud. I've got a total of 14 push pins that need to come out. Let me show you how each one of those pull out. What I like to do is get the top of it loose. Once that's loose, I can go underneath and pop the pin out, set it to the side. All right, now I got these 4 bolts across the top. Those need to come out using a 10 millimeter. All right, now typically there's a couple of clips over here that you would remove. This truck does not have that, so we're gonna go ahead and move to our wire harness. Go ahead and disconnect that. Just unplug it and pull it out. And then also the fastener that holds the wire harness in place, remove that as well. All right, now this particular truck has a factory installed fender flare. This definitely makes it a little more tedious, but let me show you how to get past this. What you've got here is a bolt that's holding the fender flare in place here. You're going to remove that with a 7 millimeter. Now, because we have the factory fender flare, there's a couple of clips underneath this panel right here. And there's also a clip here. We're gonna have to get this fender flare free of all 3 of those clips in order to get this piece loose. So go ahead and start wiggling that loose. And then you're gonna pop it free from the clips. Okay, now I've got the fender flare loose from these 3 clips. I'm going to need to go ahead and pull this loose from the fender panel. So I need to pull out towards me, and that will pop it loose. All right, once we've done that, what I like to do is flip that around and take a cloth, put it in between there just to protect your paint. We're going to repeat this whole process on the opposite side as well. All right, now that I got both sides free, I'm going to go ahead and work one side to the other and pull it all the way out. All right, now we've got a couple of bolts that are holding the grill in place, one on each side. This is going to pull out with an 8 millimeter. Do that on both sides. All right, now the only thing holding this grill in place is the clips. Just go ahead and pull it straight out. All right, so next what we're going to do is remove this bolt right here using an 8 millimeter. Now this one's going to come out with a 10. All right, next we're going to go ahead and remove this push fastener. All right, these 2 bolts right here have to come out using a 10 millimeter. All right, now we're going to go ahead and pull the headlight housing out. Pull off this dust cover. remove the bulb. Next, before you insert the light bulb, what we want to do is fan everything out. Now, in order to do that, you just want to pull the copper mesh apart like so. This is your heat sink. If you do not pull the copper mesh apart, you actually void your warranty. This has to be fanned out so it can properly have plenty of surface area to disperse the heat. Now we're going to go ahead and line up the 3 tabs to the opening, push it in place and give it a clockwise turn. All right, now we're going to go ahead and tuck our fanned out heat sinks down inside our housing. Next, we're going to go ahead and connect our anti-flicker housing and connector to our factory connector the light bulb came out of. Once that's in place, what we're going to do is fit this all down inside the housing. Next, we're going to replace our dust cover. Always replace your dust cover. This keeps dust and moisture out of your headlight assembly. All right, now we can go ahead and reinstall the headlamp the same way it came off and repeat the same process on the opposite side. All right, now we're going to go ahead and slide the grill into place. I like to use these guides to get everything lined up, and then just snap it into all the pins. Now we can go ahead and reattach the grill at the bottom with the bolts using an 8mm. Do that on both sides. Now we're going to go ahead and clip this piece back into place, starting with the center. Work it to the side. When our trim pieces pop back in, I went ahead and pulled the clips out of this portion and put them back into the fender flare. That way I can just line it up and snap it in place. All right, now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the push pin and the factory bolt. And repeat the same process for the opposite side. All right, now we can go ahead and reattach the fastener up top and plug the harness back in. Next, we'll reattach the 4 bolts up top using the 10mm. And if you do have the 2 push pins that go into these locations, install those now. All right, now we're going to go ahead and reattach the shroud with the factory push pins exactly the same way that came off. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.